Welcome back. Now that we understand the integration between Synapse and Probably, let's implement the business requirements we discussed earlier using Power BI. Let's recap on the requirements that we had. The NYC Taxi and Limousine Commission wants to encourage customers to make credit card payments, and they want to achieve 90% of all payments made to be by credit cards and keep the cash payments to be less than 10%. In order to do this, the company wants to know the current ratio between cash and card payments so that they can track progress over time. So we need to provide the data required for this, which will be the current number of trips made split by payments using cash and credit card in order to achieve the desired change in behavior. The company wants to run some campaigns as well. The campaigns could be things such as advertisements to increase car payments, discounts to taxi fare when the customer is using credit cards, etc. Having said that, they want to run this campaign effectively, which means to target the right customers. The company suspects that the payment behavior is different during different days. For example, they suspect the card payments during their weekends to be less than the weekdays. In this case, running the campaign during the weekend will be more effective rather than running it during the weekdays. So we need to provide data required to identify this payment behavior per day and mark a day as weekday or weekend and things like that. Finally, the company also wants to break down this payment behavior by borough so that they can run campaigns in the boroughs where the card payments are low. So these three are our first set of requirements. Before we discuss the second set of requirements, let me walk you through the report that I have created to satisfy this requirement so that you can be familiar and you can do a similar report for the next set of requirements. Let us switch over to Power BI Desktop and get started. Here we are in Power BI Desktop. As you can see here, I've created a new report and I've called as NYC Taxi Campaign Analysis. So let me now walk you through the report. The report is powered by the same view that we created, which is the VW Trip Data Green in our gold layer, because if you remember, that's the one we created in order to satisfy these requirements when we did the transformations. So let me now walk you through the report. I've used the text box to create the title and the three results. As you can see, I've got 2 line charts and 1 column and a chart here. So the first requirement in our business requirements is to track the behavior between card payments and the cash payments over time. So that's what I've done on the bottom visual here. As you can see, we plotted the trip count, broken down by cash and card over time. It is from 2020 January to 2021 July. We're not seeing much difference between the cash and the card payments here, but the idea is that when we're running campaigns, the gap between the two will open up and we'll see that progress month on month in this report. So talking about the campaigns, we wanted to see the possibility of running campaigns on specific days so that we've got maximum impact, as well as the possibility of running on specific button. That's where the clock payments allow. So that's what these two results do. Let's now talk about the visual on the top left here, which is the payment type by day of week. So as you can see, I plotted the days on the x-axis from Sunday to Saturday and trip count on the y-axis. But that's broken down by card payments and cash payments. As you can see, there isn't a huge variation between different days, but there is clearly a closing of the gap between Friday and Saturday, as well as a little bit on Sunday. So those days, that gap is closed. What that means is that cash transactions increased. So we want to bring down the cash transactions on those days. So if I'm running a campaign, I would pick one of those days or all three of them. So that would be Friday, Saturday, and Sunday to run the campaign, so that we are targeting more potential customers. So that's what we've done here. There's one thing I did I will show you in a bit. When you plot visual like this, it'll be alphabetically ordered on the x-axis. So you'll see Friday first and things like that. But I wanted to do it based on the day of the week. Unfortunately, we didn't bring in the day of the week from a calendar table into this view. So instead, I solved it on Power BI itself. I'll show you that in a minute. But before that, let's walk through this visual as well. So in this visual, we plotted the payment type by borough. So we've got borough on the x-axis and then the trip count broken down the payment by the payment type on the y-axis. So as you can see here, Manhattan, we got more card payments than cash payments. Brooklyn's even better. We've got far more card transactions than cash payments. But as you can see, Queens is where the problem lies. Here we've got more cash payments than card payments. So as you can see from this visual, Queens is the borough in which we want to run the campaign to make the maximum impact. And that's everything about these three visuals. But now let me show you how I managed to achieve the order by on the day number of the week as opposed to the day name of the week. So in order to do that, I've created a new column here called Order, which is going to contain the values 1 for Sunday, 2 for Monday, 3 for Tuesday, etc. And then the ordering is done that way. So let me show you how I have done that. So if I go to Transform Data, you will see a new column. So let me scroll to the right, and that's called Day Order. And as you can see, this one is 1. There are number 3 that's going to have that day of Sunday. So all I have done is I duplicated the trip data column. So you can just click on Duplicate Column and that will come here, and then you can transform that column and say, I want the day of the week. So let me click on that. And that's going to turn it into 3, 4, etc. So that's what I've done here. And then if I just simply close that and then you come into the trip day, you can say, whenever we use the trip day, I want to order by the day order, which you can click by doing this. So I've done the sort by column and then I use the day order. So whenever I specify that I want to order by the trip day, it'll order by the day order. So that's how I have achieved that one. If you're wondering how I've done that, and that's everything about this first report. We'll talk about the second one in the next session.